Hey, shalom, shalom, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Kids Clips. I'm Rabbi Yehuda here with my daughter Ariana, and we're going to be talking about Halloween. So, Ariana, I want to ask you a few questions. Have you ever celebrated Halloween before?
No.
So, you've never dressed up and went out trick-or-treating or anything? No? Well, I've had a lot of grown-ups think that I'm a mean father because I won't let you celebrate Halloween or go trick-or-treating, and they think that you're missing out on some fun. Do you ever feel like you're missing out on fun? How come?
Because, well, not really. I don't really think so.
Yeah. Well, I think you don't miss out on anything because you've never experienced Halloween. You've never, celebrated it before, so you're not missing anything because you've never had it before. Why don't we celebrate Halloween?
Because it's not a Jewish tradition.
Right, because we're Jews, and it's not our Jewish tradition to celebrate Halloween. See, way back when, pagans are the ones who invented Halloween. I'm just going to make a very, very long story short. Way back when, people believed in many, 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 many gods, and they were afraid of these gods, so they sacrificed to these gods and did weird and scary things to either try to please these gods so they wouldn't hurt them, or to try to scare these gods away so they wouldn't do anything bad to them. And so that's why a lot of people dress up really scary and ghoulish on Halloween, and that's why they go trick-or-treating and get candy, because it's kind of symbolic of gifts to the gods. Not only that, but they used to take vegetables, turnips and pumpkins and other things like that, and carve hideous faces in them and put candles in them, what we call jack-o'-lanterns, to try to ward off and scare off evil spirits. So it has nothing to do with God, the God of Israel, has nothing to do with the Bible, has nothing to do, with anything Jewish. So that's why we don't celebrate it, because to celebrate it would be to acknowledge paganism and, in a roundabout way, worshiping and celebrating like pagans do. So, since we don't have Halloween, is there any Jewish traditions or anything that we do that's sort of like Halloween?
Yeah,
What?
Purim.
What's Purim about? What do we do on Purim?
We dress up and, it's like sometimes you could go on like a treasure hunt or hit the piñata for candy.
Yeah, and Purim, Purim celebrates the book of Esther and what Esther did for the Jewish people. Esther single-handedly, through God's help, saved the Jewish people from total annihilation. See, there was this evil right-hand man to the king, and he wanted to destroy all the Jews, and he convinced the king to destroy all the Jews. Until Esther came along, who, the king took Esther as his queen. Now see, Esther disguised herself because her cousin Mordecai told her to do so. So she pretended she was a Gentile, and she dressed up like a Gentile, sort of, to disguise herself. And, at the right time, she revealed herself as a Jew and ended up saving all the Jewish people. So that's one of the reasons why we dress up on Purim, is because Esther dressed up. She disguised herself. And did you know that in the book of Esther, that the word God, or the name of God, Yahweh, is not mentioned once in the book of Esther? Yeah, why is that?
I don't really know.
Well, it's because, it's symbolic that God disguised himself. He hid himself. We don't see God's name, and we don't really kind of see God in the book, but yet by the things that happen, we can tell that God was helping Esther, and God was behind Esther. So in a way, God disguised himself and dressed up on Purim as well. And so that's why we celebrate Purim. It's kind of like Halloween, Mardi Gras, and a carnival and April Fool's Day all rolled into one. We get to act weird and crazy and silly and have fun. We have candy, and the reason that we have candy and sweet stuff is because, when somebody's celebrating, they usually have cake and ice cream and have good food to celebrate with, and we're celebrating the survival of the Jewish people and the salvation of the Jewish people through Esther. And so, that's why we do that. We sing songs and dance and have silly stories, and sometimes, we have a piñata and we play games and everything. And that takes place in the spring, right? So what do we do in the fall?
In the fall?
What holiday is it right now?
Sukkot.
Right. What do we do on Sukkot?
It's Yeshua's birthday, and
All right.
and it's also when Hanukkah, and we make sure the roof, you can see the stars through them.
Right, right. And that's to commemorate how Israel spent camped out in the wilderness for 40 years. And they stayed in tents and booths, and therefore we live outside for a week to commemorate that if the weather's good. If not, we just say prayers in our sukkah or study the scriptures in our sukkah, or eat a meal at least if the weather's nice.
Or sing a couple of songs.
Yep. Yeah, and as Ariana mentioned, it's actually the time when Yeshua was born. Yeshua wasn't born on December 25th. The pagan gods Mithra, Saturnalia, and Tammuz was born on December 25th. December has nothing to do with the Hebrew lunar Jewish calendar anyway. Sukkot is when Yeshua was born, and it's supposed to be the time, or around the time, when we think that Yeshua is going to come back again. And so we look up through the sukkah and see the stars and remember that our home is temporary, that one day we're going to live with God in heaven, that one day Yeshua is going to return from the sky and he's going to come back to earth. And so yeah, we celebrate Sukkot. And Christians, they usually try to replace Halloween with a harvest festival. I don't know why they do that, because they're just kind of replacing a pagan holiday for another pagan holiday, because a lot of other pagan religions and faiths have a harvest festival without all the scary ghoulish stuff. Why not go to the scriptures? Why not go to the Bible and celebrate Sukkot? Because it's a fall festival, and it's a holiday that God commands us to celebrate in Leviticus 23. And in Zechariah 14, we learned that even the Gentiles will one day celebrate Sukkot. So it's a holiday not just for the Jews, but for the Gentiles as well, right? Yeah. So, is there anything else you want to say or talk about? No? All right. Well, that's all the time we have for Kids Clips for the day. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.